Welcome to the Art of Classiness podcast, a show where we redefine what it means to be a classy lady. And sometimes it's messy. I'm Robin.
And I'm Deborah, two friends turned classy ladies who are here to discuss life's ups and downs, navigating the complexities of adulthood, and how the gift of friendship is essential to belonging.
Some friendships don't end with a fight. There's no dramatic blow-up, no final conversation. They end quietly through slowly unanswered messages and canceled plans until one day you realize you've been left behind.
Tonight, we're not talking about haunted houses. We're talking about haunted friendships, the ones that disappear without explanation and linger like ghosts in our lives.
From the slow fade to the sudden vanishing act, we're sharing the friendship ghost stories that stay with us and why some people don't give you a goodbye.
So follow along, give us your feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe. What's up, classy ladies and gentlemen? Robin, let's check on in. How we doing?
I'm doing okay. You know, last week I mentioned I was really struggling with anxiety, and this weekend I made it a point to push myself to get out, even though everything inside of me was saying no. Staying in bed sounds way better. And so glad that we did, because I ended up going with Seth and his friends on a hike at Smith Rock, which is 30 minutes outside of Bend. And what I thought was going to be just a simple hike, walking around and enjoying the views, turned into us doing this route called Misery Ridge, where we climbed an elevation of 800 feet and then had to go back down.
Oof.
Going down was more terrifying.
I believe it.
And it took a lot out of me. I haven't done anything physically demanding like that in a while, but I felt super accomplished when I was done.
Good.
And I rewarded myself with a pumpkin spice latte, which, let me tell you, this is different than the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte where they just use some syrup with artificial flavors, okay?
Right.
This coffee shop here makes their own pumpkin spice puree.
Oh.
That they mix in with the coffee. So they use real ingredients, and it's freaking delicious.
That does sound good.
Yeah. I've never really been a pumpkin spice girly, but this one has changed me.
I waited so long to jump on the pumpkin spice train, and when I finally did it, I understood why everyone liked it, and that's because it was so sugary. I'm like, oh, you guys just like candy.
Yeah.
That's why everybody likes this. So I would love to try a more natural take on the PSL.
It's so good. And I hate sweet drinks.
Mm-hmm.
So you can trust my judgment here.
Yeah.
It's so good. And it brings me so much joy that about 3 times a week I'll ask Seth to go get one for me.
Oh, okay. There we go. Get it into the routine. Well, now the next step is you figuring out how to make your own.
I've been thinking about it, and I kind of want to ask them, because I've tried to make it before, but it was too thick.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I used too much pumpkin.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do need to figure it out, because that's a huge expense.
You're going to have a PSL line in your budget. Nice.
How are you?
I am doing well. You know what I've been doing in my free time?
What?
Guys, I don't know what's come over me. I have always liked Bad Bunny, okay? I like a good reggaeton, Puerto Rican vibe.
Uh-huh.
I am half Mexican. I used to have a pretty conversational level of Spanish, but I've really lost it. I've just gotten out of touch with it. And ever since I found out that Bad Bunny will be performing at this year's Super Bowl, my goal is to learn at least 2 songs front to back.
Oh.
That I can sing along. So I have been listening to Titi Me Preguntó, which is so hard. It is so hard. It is definitely level 5 to start with, because a few things. Puerto Rican is not Mexican, okay? Mexicans speak very differently than Puerto Ricans. They just fully don't pronounce certain letters in words. It's just vibes. Okay. So when you read the lyrics and then you try to sing along with it, you're like, why didn't you say escuche? Why'd you say escuche? Like, that's not the same. Like, it's not the same. And I told my mom this, and the first thing she said was, oh, that's Puerto Rican. That's not Spanish. And my brother and sister have concurred. They said the same thing. Like, that's going to be hard for you to learn because it's not the same. And I'm like, it really is not the same. But you just listen to it over and over. I must have listened, like, that might be at the end of the year, my number one listened to song. Because I have just listened to it over and over again. And I think I'm like 75% of the way there. Okay.
Wow. And we're only in October.
And we got 3 more months to go.
Yeah.
And honestly, that has made me really want to genuinely relearn Spanish again, to be at that point where I could go on vacation and actually speak and feel comfortable with it. And now I'm starting to think about summer and vacations with the boys. And I'm like, what about Puerto Rico? Like, what if we take this all the way? So I will not be sampling what I've learned on this podcast yet because I'm not quite comfortable with that. But just know, if you see me with headphones on, I'm probably just listening to Bad Bunny on repeat so that I can. And if he doesn't perform that song in the Super Bowl, I'm going to be pissed. I mean, I know he will. It's like his number one song, but it's happening. I'm going to do it.
But also, they usually just do like part of the song. They do like mashups.
I know. I've thought about that too. So I'm trying to hit the parts where I feel like I know for sure we're going to get this part of the song. It's been honestly really fun to engage that part of my brain again. And it's making me, again, just want to be more immersive with Spanish. So that's what I've been doing.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So learning another language and trying to speak it out loud is scary. But you know what's even scarier, Robin?
What?
Ghosting. That's right. We're making a hard left into our classy conversation today. We are talking about friendship ghosts. We're going to be reading real-life ghost stories from friends who have been left on red, felt abandoned, and even one from a ghost themselves.
Ooh.
I know, it's a spooky, scary episode because it's emotional abandonment. Okay.
And that is a nightmare.
It is my nightmare, for sure. Because not all ghosts live in haunted houses. Some live in old text threads, quiet friend circles, and the unanswered, hey, are we good? Oh, God. I mean, that having to even send that message just literally sends shivers down my spine.
My chest is tightening at the thought of it.
Yes.
Even saying the "are we good" is terrifying because you're really putting yourself out there to be potentially rejected.
Yeah, you're like, hi, it's me revealing I care about you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. So yeah, we're going to be talking about these emotional disappearances that no one warns you about because, you know, when I say ghosting, I'm sure most people immediately assume like in the dating world, right?
Yeah.
It's like so common. Nobody knows how to have conflict anymore. And if you're just not vibing with someone you've been talking to, the easiest thing to do is just like never talk to them again. Or maybe you've gone out on a few dates and then they're just gone. So that's, I think, what most people are familiar with. But friendship ghosting is so painful and we just don't talk about it enough.
Right. With dating, you kind of expect it sometimes. You don't know this person very well. They don't owe you anything. You don't owe them anything. But the stakes are so much higher with friendships because they're typically years long, decades long.
Yeah.
And to have someone just drop off without any reason why, it's a kind of heartbreak that I think we all hate to experience.
Most definitely.
I actually found a study from, pardon if I pronounce this wrong, Foray?
Sure. Sounds right.
Foray?
Foray.
et al. 2023.
Okay.
Their findings were that ghosting within friendships is linked to increased depressive tendencies among the ghostee, i.e., the person who was ghosted, whereas ghosting in romantic relationships showed less of the same effect. So why does being ghosted by a friend feel worse than a breakup? We're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, that is really interesting because it does hurt on a different level. I think when you've been ghosted romantically, you can really kind of pinpoint it to maybe a few things. And you can be like, well, I'm better off because if they never wanted to get married, then they shouldn't be wasting my time. Or if we weren't a fit, like better to just leave me be so I can find that person.
Yeah. If he was interested, he'd be putting in more effort.
Right. You kind of get the answer you need in real time.
Yeah.
But friendships are so nuanced and they weave through so many components of your life. They know you on so many different levels and they really should know your true self. And it's a low stakes game. Like dating is high stakes because you're hopefully trying to find the person that you're going to spend a very long time with. But friends go in and out of your life. So when they just completely leave, it feels like a much deeper personal attack for some reason.
It does. It feels more pointed.
Yeah. And I think the biggest part of that grief, which we're going to explore today, is the not knowing, right? Is the never knowing why. So Robin and I found a few examples and some stories from the World Wide Web. And we feel like we can categorize these different versions of ghosts into different categories. So why don't we start with our first one, which is the soft fade.
The soft fade. This is the slow ghost. You start to notice longer reply times, fewer plans, and then one day, nada.
Poof. Okay, so for this example of this slow fade, we found a post on Reddit. So most of these are going to be posts that we found on Reddit. And this one is titled, A Slow Progression of My Best Friend Ghosting Me. And this poster included screenshots of the text. And it's so hard reading them because you know how this story is going to end, but the poster doesn't. So Robin and I are going to do a dramatic reading of these texts, okay? And you can hear the slow fade of a ghost happening.
Are you going to be OP or the friend?
I'll be OP this time.
Okay.
Now, before we get into it, the poster wrote, I have no idea what her reasoning is for this, but this is the closest thing to heartbreak I ever want to experience. We were friends for 10 years.
And this was a progression over, I think, 2 or 3 months for reference.
Okay. Are you coming over tonight?
No, busy tonight.
Damn. All right. A week later. Hey, want to hang out tomorrow when I'm off?
Can't. I'm helping my dad with the job tomorrow.
Damn. Okay. Have fun. Ayo. I'm having some people over on 420. Want to come over?
Sounds fun. I'll let you know.
Yay. Okay. Did you hear any loud slams around 12 a.m.?
Hey, I can't make it tomorrow.
Damn, that sucks. I miss you, homie. A week later. Hey, want to hang out? I'm off today and tomorrow. And I need a new rig because blank broke my brand new one, and that was hand spun. No response. Hey, I'm going to get lunch. Want to come?
I'm out running some errands.
Aw, damn, okay.
I'm back home if you want to go buy your rig. I'm down.
Bet. On my way. Here.
Okay.
A week later. Hey, I know this is a long shot, but do you know anyone who could watch my 2 dogs till Tuesday?
No.
Just no. That's it. A week goes by. Hey, G, I'm having my birthday party the Friday the 26th. You'll be there, right? Several emoticons.
I'll let you know. It's also my birthday.
I think we're going to move it to after Memorial Day because everyone's unavailable for that. No response. Hey, what day would work for you for my party?
I'll let you know. 2 days later. Hey, girl, happy birthday.
Thank you. Double smiley face. Hey, I'm having my party the 5th through the 6th. I'd love for you to be able to stop by at some point.
Thumbs up emoji. So it's the 5th and 6th?
Monday night into Tuesday morning.
Oh, okay. What time?
You can head over around 8 anytime after that. Or earlier. I don't give a fuck. LOL. Hey, do you need a ride later? I have to go by 71st anyways to get weed.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna bring blank, by the way.
Bad. A week later. No, a month later. Miss you! Exclamation point. 3 weeks later. Hey, would you want to hang out sometime soon? A month later. Hey, is everything okay? I'm kind of worried about you.
Yeah, I'm good.
Would you want to hang out sometime soon? I haven't seen you in forever. 6 days later. Did I do something? 10 days later. Want to go to the Halloween store? 2.5 months later. Bro, I finally got my diploma from high school. 2 days later. Hey, it's OP's name. Not sure if you care, but I got scammed, so this is my new number. 2 days later. It kills me that you don't talk to me anymore. Finn.
End scene.
That's a rough go. That's a rough go.
Yeah. And it seems like they hung out a couple times. So I'm wondering like what kind of interactions they had in person.
Right. I mean, this is the hard part is we really only have, I don't want to say one side of the story because we have the screenshots. Clearly you have OP who's highly engaged over text. And then you have the friend who is just really doing the bare minimum for the majority of these exchanges.
Yeah. They're not progressing the conversation. It's 1, 2, 3 words. Like they're not engaging with OP.
Right. And now I'm just going to make some observations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
OP clearly likes to party, likes to have a good time. Okay.
Sounds like they're pretty young.
Sounds like they're pretty young.
Got high school diploma.
Yeah. Good for him or her, getting that diploma. It seems like, again, kind of going into like all night 2-day parties. Like, what day is your party? Oh, it starts this day and goes into the next day. Like, it's possible that maybe this other friend is just moving out of that phase in life and doesn't really know where they belong in this instance.
Yeah, that could be it. Or maybe like there is something that has kind of turned them off from this person, but they're too scared of confrontation. And so it's just easier to fade away.
Yeah. So do you think that is more painful or less painful than somebody just going cold turkey? Like, what makes the slow fade so emotionally confusing?
Oof. God, they're all emotionally confusing. They all hurt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm putting myself in any of these scenarios and I'm like, it's heartbreaking every which way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like with this particular story, like the soft fade, the reason why it's so emotionally confusing is because this friend is still somewhat engaging. They are meeting up with you
Mm-hmm.
and then they drop off. And it's like, what the fuck happened?
Right. And what's so heartbreaking to me about this thread is every time OP gets the smallest kind of validation from their friend, they're like so happy. They're like, okay, yay, awesome. Like, can't wait to see you, miss you. Like, trying to make they're overcompensating for the complete lack of emotion that they're getting from their friend, that it's possible they're missing some of the subtle signs of that person pulling away in the first place.
Yeah.
And it sucks when it's really coming from one person, right? Like in this case, it's very clear. OP is trying to have a relationship. They're trying to meet their friend where they're at, like, hey, I'm going to be by this part of town. I can come pick you up. Do you want to go to the Halloween store? Like, obviously, you would assume if they're young, like they're both doing something for Halloween, like trying to find a way to keep them in their lives. But the friend, obviously, it seems, has moved on. And it's because the poster is missing those subtle signs.
Yeah.
She's also missing the opportunity for like the mutual fade.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to stop asking you to hang out then because you obviously don't care about hanging out with me.
Right. And obviously, OP is more invested in this friendship and they don't want it to fade.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're trying to reignite whatever they once had. And this variation of ghosting, I think, is one of the hardest because it's an ambiguous grief, right? Like there's no clear loss to process.
Yeah. Yeah. And you look back and you're like, where did it go wrong? What was the breaking point? What was the thing that I did?
Yeah.
And you try to search for answers. It's almost like, and I know that these are not the same thing at all, but I think the worst grief to endure would be if someone in your life went missing and you never got answers.
Oh my God. Yeah. How many true crime stories have we heard? Like the parents cannot get closure because they never found the body.
Right. Right. And then there's like most of your brain is like, well, obviously they've passed away, but there's like still a part in your head that's like, but maybe they didn't. Maybe they're somewhere else and like happy and living their life. And, again, I know it's not at all the same, but I feel like your brain kind of processes these types of friendship ghosting the same way in the sense that like you just never have that closure.
And people like you and me will spiral.
Yeah. We'll think about it forever.
I'll create all the different scenarios as to why.
Oh, yeah.
You hate me.
Yeah. And it's so unsettling. And you just have to live with it for so long until you can hopefully realize like, well, I'm better off. Hopefully they are. And you can move forward.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the best way to react in this specific situation is for OP to send like one final message of like, hey, I'm not sure what happened. I really miss you as a friend, but it seems like you're done with this relationship. And I just want you to know I wish you all the best.
Right.
Give yourself closure, even if they're not providing it for you.
Exactly. And really, closure is something you give yourself. If you're waiting for someone else to give it to you, then you are going to be waiting a long time.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. In this or any other instances of ghosting, take control at the end and say, okay, well, I'm going to call it then.
Yeah.
I'm breaking up with you, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. I said it first.
I said it first, therefore it was my decision. So this one at least had a slow fade, right? But not all ghosting. In fact, most ghosting, you might not get any heads up. So we're calling this next version the Vanishing Act.
Yes, this is the sudden ghost. Everything seems fine, then poof, your friendship disappears. And we found another study on this from another difficult to pronounce word, Pancani?
Pancani.
Pancani et al. From 2022, ghosting leads to worse outcomes, such as threats to belongingness, control, and self-esteem, than overt rejection because of the ambiguity and lack of closure.
Yeah, it's the not knowing.
So what are the kinds of emotions that would come up after an instant ghost versus the slow fade? I'm thinking there's the anger element instead of like this slow progression of disappointment.
Right. It's the suddenness of it. You know, it's the black and white nature. Like, we were cool last week and now you have not returned any of my messages.
Right. It's a gut punch. It's a total gut punch because of how abrupt, just pow, gone.
Oh, yeah. It's a defensive response of, I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I don't deserve this, almost.
Right.
Well, let's read another example of a vanishing act. The lights just go off without warning.
Okay, so this is an example. OP has been ghosted by their best friend. And here's what they say before we'll reread the text exchange. I genuinely don't know what I did wrong. We had normal conversations, and then one day she just completely stopped talking to me. I have tried asking if there was something I had done wrong, but no response and left on read. If I did do something wrong, I feel like she still wouldn't have me added on Instagram and on her close friends. I know she is on her phone because she posts and talks with other people. What could I have possibly done wrong? She's been my best friend since 13, and she seemed completely fine before she stopped talking to me, and I just feel lost because if there is something I did wrong, I want to try and correct it. Okay, I'll be reading as OP. This is a shorter exchange. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Hope you took that shit, girl.
Still on the toilet right now. I ran for the toilet.
11 days later. Hey, Pookie. Random question, but do you still talk with Sissy?
Not really.
I was just wondering, because it seems like she doesn't really fuck with anyone anymore except Cass. Next day. Hey, Pooks. Why did you leave the chat? 4 days later. Girl, why are you not answering? Crying face emoji.
And that's it. And then she was gone.
Yeah, it looks like she sent some other text, but she didn't attach that. But I'm sure it was more of the same.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it continues to be the friend not responding. My question is, who's Sissy? You know, maybe Sissy's the trigger. Maybe that brought up something, or maybe, I don't know. We don't know.
I don't know. But here's a few questions we can ask. Does every ghost owe a reason, or is silence its own message?
I think in an example like this, now mind you, we don't have all the proof. We don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. But if there's not a conflict, if the ghosting is not born out of a conflict, then I can almost understand why you wouldn't know how to give a reason. If your reason is, I just don't think I like you anymore, you might not know how to articulate that.
Yeah.
You know?
Because that's harsh.
That is harsh to say to someone like, I don't really think we have anything more in common. We've grown into different directions, and I'm going to forge ahead without you, actually.
And like, this is a friend from age 13.
Yeah.
We don't know how old they are here, but I'm going to guess at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So you've been through a lot of life transitions, and it's so strange when this kind of relationship abruptly ends. It's different when it's someone that you're like getting to know, you think you're going to be good friends, but it just doesn't pan out that way, versus you've established this friendship a long time ago.
Right. Sometimes life gets in the way. Maybe you were friends because you worked at the same place and now you don't anymore. So you just don't have reasons to interact. Moving away is a really common way to kind of lose touch, right? Or maybe entering into a new relationship. But to me, it's not even about like those friends that you don't talk to anymore. Ghosting is when somebody is actively not responding to you, when someone is clearly engaging with others, clearly active on social media. You know that they're on their phone. They're looking at their phone if they're on Instagram. Like no one is ever cruising Instagram on their desktop, right?
Right.
So when you see that they're active, you know they're looking at their phone and they are just not responding to you. Like it is the worst feeling of rejection. It is, I am being ignored. I feel like when you're ignored as a child, those wounds are so deep that you will find it anywhere. You will literally find that anywhere and you will
Yes.
make it so personal. So that's why I think it can be so painful for some people.
You bring up a really good point. I have abandonment issues as well. And when a friend, especially a close friend, stops talking to me for whatever reason, like maybe they're just really busy, they have a lot going on, like I revert back to that child version of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me go down this whole other route of I'm unlovable.
Right. It feels like an absolute personal attack and a whole rejection of who you are as a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the suddenness of someone who pulls the Vanishing Act. One day we were cool, and then the next day, nothing. It is torturous. It is that missing person in your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever been the ghoster in this kind of story?
I have never actively, and feel free to call me out if I'm missing someone. Put it in the comments somewhere. I have never actively stopped engaging with someone who was engaging with me. Like a girlfriend that is sending me messages, sending me something on Instagram, and I just like don't engage anymore. I don't think I've ever done that. Are there friends that we sort of mutually kind of fell off the vine that I still think about, but so much time has passed that I don't know what to even say? Yes.
Right. Yeah. And I talked about that last week with a friend of mine. Like things just kind of faded out and I just let it happen because at the end of the day, you don't want to be putting in more than the other person in a friendship.
Yeah.
And there have been other instances where I, really hit it off with someone. We had some great hangouts, really got vulnerable with each other, sharing stories and, had the intention of meeting up again. And I really tried to make that happen several times. And they would say like, yeah, we need to do that. But then it would never happen. I finally just like stopped trying and then I never heard anything again. It sucked.
Yeah.
But Seth had this happen with his childhood best friend, who was going to be Seth's best man at our wedding. And like 2 days before our wedding, he said he couldn't come. His girlfriend was having some health problems or something. And, we were like, we understand. We'll miss you. Totally fine. But we still want your best man speech, like whatever.
Yeah.
After that, fell off the face of the earth. And Seth tried many times to be there for him, he offered to go visit, all these things, and he just stopped replying. But there are people in their mutual friend group that he still talks to. And so Seth hears secondhand what's going on in his life. I think in this situation, this friend feels shame and guilt.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
Because Seth was always the giver. He always took care of that friendship. He took care of that friend. He was so generous. And I think this guy probably felt a lot of shame about his lack of reciprocation
Yeah.
and of the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Shame is such a driver of avoidance. So it might not even be what the other person did to you. A lot of times it can be about what is going through in their own world and in their own life, and has to be selective about the kind of people that they can give their energy to.
Solid point. So, all this to say, people don't always ghost to be cruel, it's to avoid their own shame.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they struggle to send a clear closure text if they do decide they need to end this friendship. They're not able to be honest with you or themselves, probably.
Yeah, it's really hard to say, I'm ashamed. I am in the lowest place in my life. I stopped showering or leaving my house. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to admit the worst parts about yourself, and making amends is really difficult. So, it just goes to show you might not know why somebody left you and cut you out and just dropped off the face of the earth. But maybe where you can get closure is to understand it might not have anything to do with you.
Right. And I think that's the healthiest way to approach it from the ghosty perspective, especially when you know you did everything you could to support that friendship, to nurture it.
Yeah.
It's not always because you did something wrong. And I could stand to listen to my own advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course. It's always easier to be like, don't take it personally until someone doesn't make direct eye contact with you for long enough. And then you're like, why is this a personal attack against me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had the slow fade. We have had the Vanishing Act. But let's talk about when you set those boundaries up front. This one we're calling I'm Not Dead, Just Done.
This is the intentional ghost, the person who gives notice before disappearing. It's allegedly not cruel, but closure. And the reason I word it like that is because our example, I think the friend is kind of being rude, and it is cruel.
Yeah, absolutely. So this Reddit post is called Best Friend is Going No Contact Out of the Blue, question mark, question mark. And this is what the poster had to say. Hey, I really need some insight here. She is 32-year-old female, very close friend of about 12 years, who is a 33-year-old male, sent me and another gal in our friend group this message and then deleted us off all social media. See, the thing is, he called to tell me all about how he was connecting with his girlfriend, and we were all super stoked for him, especially since he hasn't been in a relationship in a while and has been looking to settle down. I remember saying how cool it was that we could double date and that we could come into town for the holidays, but now he sent this message cutting ties, which we'll read in a moment. This man danced at my wedding. We've watched countless TV shows and movies together, even shared our fears and dreams with each other. To imagine he's just gone and willingly from our lives is devastating. We can tell him anything and he would never judge us, and vice versa. I guess I'm just confused and heartbroken. FYI, I moved 3,000 miles away 3 years ago, so I can't knock on his door and ask him to give me an explanation. Also, it's not written in his voice. Seems like his girlfriend who formulated the message.
So I'm going to read the ghoster's text. I am in a relationship that means everything to me, that I am fully committed to, and need you to appreciate and respect that and not contact me or stop and have a conversation with me out of respect for me and my relationship. There is not a single punctuation mark in that entire paragraph.
And then the response is, did I do something wrong?
And that's it.
And that's it. That's all we got.
I'm going to agree with her. This sounds very much from the girlfriend perspective. Sounds like she has some insecurities about him being friends with other women, which is understandable, but OP is married. She's in her own relationship. She lives 3,000 miles away.
Right.
I'm not sure why this girlfriend would feel threatened.
No. And We don't know that they've even met because it sounds like they just started dating and she's lived 3,000 miles away for the past 3 years. So maybe she doesn't see in person how harmless this co-ed friendship is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've talked about this subject matter a lot on the show. Like, not everybody is down for male-female friendships that can feel very threatening to some people.
Yeah. But I still, like, even if that were the case, it's such an aggressive cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
When OP didn't do anything wrong, they can still send that message like, hey, I need to take some space and focus on this relationship to see if it's really going to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I still care about you, but, we need to take a break. Like, there's so many better ways to approach this.
Yeah.
She didn't deserve that. It's very immature.
Well, it's very problematic from a relationship standpoint because you should not be with a partner that can't handle you having other people that you love and they love you in their lives. Like, this is an isolation tactic.
Yes.
This is an isolation tactic. And that is a very clear indication of a toxic relationship. Because if you are with a partner that says you are no longer allowed to talk to that person, unless you better have a damn good reason for making them cut off someone in their life.
Right?
And just being friends is not a reason.
Yeah, the punishment doesn't fit. Can't even say the crime. She's done nothing.
She's done nothing.
It makes no sense. Like, there's a way to set boundaries and not be such a dick.
Right. And unless we know that maybe this guy confided in his new girlfriend, yeah, I'm friends with so-and-so. I used to have a huge crush on her when we first met, but we've just been friends ever since. And this made the girlfriend incredibly jealous and territorial. Again, still very I don't like that dynamic at all where you can't get over shit. But maybe he accidentally fed some fodder into why she feels like she needs to strong arm this. Clearly, she has trust issues, right?
Absolutely.
This is someone who has trust issues because I think you know your friends very well. And if I got a message like this from you, I would be like, this isn't Robin.
Right.
This is not Robin. This is not how she writes this text. I don't know who sent this, but it's not her. So I think the friend is right in being suspicious about who actually wrote this message.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, you might think, okay, well, at least I'm telling them I'm going to cut them off. But sometimes that doesn't really give you the closure that you think it would.
Right. This specific situation is difficult because it's aggressive, abrupt, seemingly without any lead up.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about sounding redundant here, but there are better ways to set healthy boundaries in adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And this text reads very childish to me.
Yeah.
And it's eliminating any opportunities for repair down the road, because what if this relationship doesn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, shit, I miss my best friend.
Right.
Like, he was such an asshole, deleted her from social media, everything. Like, you don't deserve her friendship at this point.
That's the thing. If you are going to ghost for whatever reason, from mental health all the way to a controlling girlfriend to maybe you just didn't have anything in common anymore, I think some ghosts have the misconception that they can come back whenever they want.
Right.
And that might not always be the case. You might not have a friend that's willing to welcome you back with open arms.
Yeah.
And say, oh, thank God, I missed you so much. You have to do the work to earn that trust back because they don't know if you're going to stick around and they don't want to lose you a second time.
That, and I would struggle with forgiveness because the way this guy cut them off is it's like he's planning to never speak to them again. And you just can't know that. You can't know how things are going to pan out, which is why what I said earlier, I think makes the most sense.
If you're in this situation, if you are in a relationship where the person you are dating with forbids you to talk to people that are in your life, you need to reevaluate the health.
That's a red flag.
That's a huge red flag. You don't always have to give everything up for love, by the way. I understand that that's a romantic notion of oh, he gave everything up. Oh, she did everything for me. Nah, you actually don't have to do that.
Nope.
That's not a requirement of a good, healthy, and loving relationship. It might sound like a romantic one, but it sure as shit is not healthy.
No, not one bit.
No, because when the relationship ends, which it probably will, you're not going to have anyone around you.
Exactly.
In fact, you are probably going to see exactly what you gave up to try to pursue that relationship. And that's going to suck.
And I'm going to make a guess here that homeboy is pussy whipped.
100%. Man, I haven't heard that term in so long, but damn, is that accurate?
It seems that way. Like he's getting it and he's not thinking with the right head.
No. Dickful thinking is what I also like to call it.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard that. Okay.
So when you're thinking with the wrong head, So
yeah.
Be careful. And women get it too. Women can get it too,
Absolutely. It goes both ways for sure. Especially in those early days. Like, is it love or is it lust? When you're lustful, you do things that you would not normally do.
Right. Yeah. So check your boundaries. Check your baggage before you get on that plane.
Right. And if I were OP in this situation, I understand her reaction to ask if she did something wrong. If he didn't reply to that, I'd follow up with, hey, the way you spoke to me is really fucked up. I hope you know what you're doing because this friendship is truly over. Take control of the situation. Just like we said before, it sucks, but you need to let them know that you have control in this friendship as well. Like, fine, you want to tell me we're not friends anymore? I'm going to solidify that for you.
Right. I'm going to go scorched earth. I'm going to burn this bridge to the ground, baby. And, that might alleviate the anger part of grieving. It's not going to stave the sadness, the bargaining,
of course,
all those things, right? It's an act of anger, and that's okay. And you got to just see those emotions through sometimes. But,
yeah,
unfortunately, even when they do give you a heads up, you are still left with so many questions. And that is the worst part.
Right. Sometimes a heads up is not really a heads up at all.
No, because the end result's still the same, Yeah.
So we've talked about all the ways to lose a friend through ghosting. Let's talk about it from the other side, where you are the ghoster and you do feel regretful about it.
Yeah, let's get some stories from beyond the grave. Okay, so this one gives us a lot of insight and kind of confirms some suspicions that Robin and I had shared earlier. But this post is called, I Ghosted My Best Friend and I Don't Know How to Apologize.
I stopped replying to her almost a year ago now in September. At the time, I didn't really understand, but I was becoming agoraphobic. The thought of replying to her or hanging out with her just sent me into a panic. I didn't even reply to my own father for an entire year. I completely isolated myself, and I guess the thought of explaining all of this to her felt too pathetic, so I just ignored her like I ignored everyone else. I'm on medicine now, but the idea of apologizing to her still just makes me feel so ashamed. I feel so mad at myself every time I see her name. I think about her all the time. It's been so long.
Ugh. That just goes to show you it's not always about you.
Right.
You never really know what someone is going through. And that level of anxiety, depression, maybe even OCD, where you are an agoraphobe and literally not leaving your house, just shows you how quickly you can spiral into insulation like that.
Right. And this is a vanishing act.
Yeah.
She just vanished. And I have been this person when I've gone through bouts of severe depression. Like during COVID, when my dog died, there was a month where I struggled to get out of bed and people were reaching out to me and checking in. And it just felt so overwhelming to reply. I'll also say when my anxiety is pretty severe and I see that people are texting me and I'm going to have to think about my reply because they've asked me a question or something, that feels overwhelming. And then too much time goes by and then I feel bad about how long it's taken me to text them. And so then you keep not texting them.
Right.
It seems like that's what OP went through.
Right. And what's sad is that I'm sure the friend was doing nothing but sending supportive messages like, hey, are you okay? Anything you need? Can I come by and check on you? And that's so well intended. And for a lot of friends, what you need to hear when you're already this deep into the well, that is just a pile on of reminders that you aren't a good friend because you're not messaging them back. And The shame spiral is so challenging to get over when you're in that situation. But what do we tell this poster? Do you think they have a chance at cultivating these friendships again? Like, what is the right thing to say if you are the ghost in order to get a friendship back?
I do feel like this situation is unique because it is mental health related.
Mm-hmm.
And when our mental health is plummeting, you just don't have the ability to maintain healthy relationships.
Right.
Can barely function yourself. So I think if OP wanted to try and repair is to take ownership,
Yeah.
apologize, and explain what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like agoraphobia, I get it. I get that feeling of fear, anxiety, overwhelm, and then the shame for even feeling that way. How do you even begin to explain that to not just one, but anybody that's talking to you? Like to say it over and over again, like I would feel stupid.
Yeah. And that's why this type of depression is so scary, because shame can be so debilitating that you don't even know where to start. And so making amends from something you did when you were in a depressive state like that feels really challenging, because you have to be so vulnerable about what was going on. And that can feel embarrassing. And that might be enough fodder to just be like, I'm going to just start anew and got to build a whole new friendship and maybe a whole new life now. So I think getting to a point where you can be more open and vulnerable in telling people what's going on behind the scenes. When you are in a sound mind, that is when you make the plan. That is when you make the, if I get to that state again, here's what I need. When someone is drowning is not the time to teach them how to swim, right?
Yeah.
And so when they're on dry land and everything's fine, that's when you're like, okay, if this happens again, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do these three things. And if you are the friend that has been ghosted and someone comes back around and has this as their reasoning, you have every right to say, I need some time.
Absolutely. It's so scary, but this is a friendship that you truly care about, which in this case, it is. She says she thinks about her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You owe it to yourself and you owe it to her to try.
Right.
At the very least, she deserves an explanation.
Yeah. You know, I heard another phrase as it pertains to working on things, and that is, you can't walk 5 miles into a forest and expect to get out in 3.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. If you've gone that far deep, you can't expect to win the friendship back by just saying, hey, sorry, I kind of was a little agoraphobic for a minute. I'm better now. You want to get coffee? No. You're going to have to reach out several times. You're going to have to continue to message, continue to show up for them, ask them questions about what's going on in their life, give them time to reconnect for the length of time that you were gone. It might take a full year for that friend to say, okay, you're my bestie again. Because you got to do the work, and it's got to be proportionate to the damage that was done.
You know, when I was in my early 20s, my sister and I hit this rough patch. We didn't talk for a few years, and it fucking sucked. She's 10 years older than me, right? And we've both dealt with some heavy stuff growing up. So there's a lot of trauma there. Communication wasn't our best attribute at the time. And at one point, she sent me an email basically saying, let's throw in the towel. And that freaking killed me.
Oh.
Fast forward a few years, I was coming out of a 5-year relationship. I had just started a new job. I just moved into a new place. I was, figuring out what my life was going to be like moving forward. And we had this mutual friend who kept nudging me to reach out like, hey, she's doing so much better. She has a job that she loves. She's happier. She's in a better headspace. It really got me thinking like maybe it was time to reach out and try to make this work. So I sent her a message and asked if she wanted to grab coffee, which she said yes. And at the time, I was in a watercolor class in college. So I decided to paint a watercolor of this little olive branch and I framed it. So when we met up, I gave it to her and was like, I miss you. Can we just start over?
Right.
Like, we don't need to talk about the past. I don't care. I just want my sister back. She was really wonderful about it. She took the olive branch and, ever since then, we've been great. She was bridesmaid in my wedding, which meant the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love her to pieces. And I'm just so grateful that we were able to find our way back to each other.
Oh, she literally took the olive branch.
We could still be in that situation where we're not talking to each other if one of us didn't make that attempt.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great example of sometimes you need a change of scenery. You need a change in the stage that you're at in life. You need some perspective and distance in order to come back. Because I'm wondering if you had made that attempt any earlier and she had said no, then you probably wouldn't be in each other's lives right now. Okay. Woof. That was spooky scary. That was like an adult haunted house where you just run into people who stopped returning your text messages at every corner.
Yeah, like imagine that each of these segments was another door that you had to open.
Yes. Well, let's do a palate cleanser with our class act of the week. This is where Robin and I take turns highlighting something classy that we saw, whether it was in our personal lives or something online. And this week, it is Robin's turn. Robin, who is your class act of the week?
Okay, so I was a little behind, but I've been catching up on this season of Dancing with the Stars.
Mm.
And the most recent episode that I watched last night was Dedication Night.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where all the stars choose someone to dedicate their dance to, and then that person is involved in a dance in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stars this season is Elaine Hendricks, which you might remember her from The Parent Trap.
Oh, yeah.
The evil stepmom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And on dedication night, instead of choosing maybe a family member or a romantic partner like a lot of people do, she dedicated her performance to someone who doesn't always get celebrated on a big stage, and that is her best friend of nearly 30 years, Lisa Ann Walter, which they met on the set of The Parent Trap.
Mm-hmm.
She called Lisa her chosen family, her constant, and the person who has seen her through everything. And instead of framing friendship as something secondary, she honored it as one of the deepest loves of her life.
Oh.
And she went on to say that female friendship is powerful, sustaining, and often overlooked. So seeing these two women celebrating nearly 3 decades of loyalty and laughter and ride or die partnership was just classy as hell. And, I wasn't sure what I was going to do for my class act. And as soon as I saw her give her little spiel about what female friendship means to her, it was so sweet. And, they're not just best friends, they're sisters. They were talking about, I can't wait to grow old with her. Like, they're those friends, like, chilling on the front porch together.
Yeah.
So, Elaine Hendricks, thank you for reminding me and the world that a best friend can also be a soulmate.
Oh, I love that. I can't watch. I don't usually tune in to Dancing with the Stars unless I'm at home because my mom loves it. But I do watch the clips online, and I will tell you, dedication night, I almost can't watch.
Dude.
Because I cry so easily. Oh my God, I cannot. I'm not even recovering yet from when Bindi Irwin was on the show. And when she did her dedication, that was so I can't even watch those clips. But I saw Robert Irwin's performance, and his mom and his sister came out. Oh my God, too good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it is now time for one of our favorite segments, and that is Class or Crass. This is where we read a scenario and we analyze it to decide, was that classy or is it crassy? Are you ready for this week's?
I am.
Here we go. At a Halloween party, your friend pulls a prank that leaves you embarrassed in front of people you don't know well. Classy humor or crass because friends shouldn't humiliate friends?
Ooh, okay. The level of pranking is important to know here.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I do not like being pranked. It's not funny most of the time. People who pull pranks are being jerks. They're getting joy out of your humiliation.
You have to know someone well enough to pull the right kind of prank, because I am someone who has pranked other people before, and I hate being pranked in return. I'm a huge hypocrite when it comes to that.
Double standard.
It's a huge double standard. And I have also, done pranks that have not landed well, that have ruined the vibe. So it's genuinely something I do not do anymore, but I do need to acknowledge my participation in this type of scenario before. And also someone who has been pranked and felt very, very stupid. Like at one of my jobs.
Oh man, being pranked at work.
Ugh. And I was new. I was new to the company. I was new to the state. I didn't know anybody here. And several people tried to convince me that one of the guys who worked there was Jewish around Hanukkah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like not going to be like, no, you're not. Like, I'm just going to believe you when you tell me, yeah, I'm Jewish. I think he said something about a yarmulke. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you were Jewish. And that was all that he needed to be like, yeah, I am. And then told other people to say references about him being Jewish around me. So I was like, okay, cool. And even in an email that I sent during that season, wished him a happy Hanukkah because I'm a nice person who is trying to be inclusive.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And then everyone like laughed. And then they're like, what's so funny? And they're like, she thought he was Jewish, blah, blah. And I'm just like, this is so unnecessary. You were taking advantage of my kindness, of my like inclusivity, of my naivete being a new person here. And it pissed me off so much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Like, it has to be someone that you know really well. And it has to be the kind of prank that you know they will take well.
Right.
That they'll at least be able to laugh about later.
Yeah. And you can laugh and feel dumb in front of your closest friends because you know that they don't think you're dumb.
Right.
So like if someone pulled a prank on me at Summit, where our classy ladies all get together, I don't think I would be upset because I know that everyone in that room genuinely loves me. But if I was visiting someone and they pulled a prank on me in front of their friends that I don't know very well, that would not fly with me at all.
No, not at all. The worst part about being pranked is when the pranker sees that you did not take it well and they're still laughing at you and they tell you like, chill out, it was just a joke.
It was just a joke. Oh, calm down.
That pisses me off even more than the prank at that point because you don't care about my feelings.
Right.
You're making me feel bad for being upset that you did an asshole thing.
Right. Sorry you didn't think this through, but now you get to be uncomfy.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like being uncomfortable in front of a group? Guess what? You just did that to me.
You should really consider how your friend might feel if you're gonna pull a prank because you don't want them to be humiliated. You don't want to attack their character.
Yeah. Know the audience in which you're pranking. Know the audience that it's going to happen in front of. And really think through every possible way that it could go wrong because they usually do. So I'm going to say this is crassy behavior.
It can be. But like we said, there's a classy way to handle it, especially if you're known for pulling pranks.
Yeah.
Like if pranking is an art form to you and it's kind of like a love language in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And you really did give it thought and you know that the friend is going to take it well. Actually, I think it would be cool if like the prank involves making the friend feel more loved at the end.
I mean, what is that love bomb prank?
I'm not sure, but I will think about it.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll get pranked by me
there we
at
go.
some point.
Give me a love prank any day.
Yeah, I guess pranks are usually to make someone think something else.
Right.
That isn't true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the hard part is like you're actively lying and they're choosing to believe you, like you said about your coworker.
Yeah.
That's what's humiliating. You're right. It's crass. It's crass.
Okay. Nailed it. Yes, it is crass.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not many classy ways to go about it.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Declared.
All right, that about wraps it up. Ghosting is quiet, but it's not harmless. It leaves people carrying questions and the weight of stories that never got an ending.
But the truth is, not every friendship is supposed to last forever. What matters is how we move. Do we disappear, or do we communicate with clarity and care? That's where class comes in.
We want to hear your ghost stories. Have you been haunted by a friendship that ended without a goodbye?
Send us your stories at artofclassiness@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram and TikTok at Art of Classiness.
Thanks for listening. And remember, classy is a state of mind.
So mind your classiness.
Bye.